City Cafe. Coach Derek Stingley, Sr., here with us every week. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing okay. Doing okay.
I'm doing great.
How about this from a coaching standpoint, trying to navigate this week? Coach, you've seen recruiting from the front line, and you're obviously a coach that understands going through game week and getting prepared. What's the task this week for college coaches as they have both signing day tomorrow and games on Saturday?
I mean, naturally, you got to stay the course. I mean, you've been recruiting these kids for X amount of years, possibly. You understand that it's coming to a head. With the new signing period, with the early signing period, it's a little different. Where before it was in February, you didn't have to worry about, getting ready for games and, trying to get your recruits in. But, some of the great programs have been doing it and been doing it at ease. LSU's been having some great success the last couple of years with the early signing period. You just gotta make time for it. And I think I heard Coach O said it's 24/7. So you have to pull a couple of all-nighters. You have to stay in office a little longer. You have to work the phones a little bit more. But at the same time, you do have to prepare. You have to prepare for a game. Normally at this time of year, we're done. We're kind of waiting for whatever bowl game we're playing.
Yeah.
So once again, we're in another 2020 pandemic, crazy upside-down year. But I'm pretty sure that, Coach O and the coaches over there do their best to get us some good guys for next year.
All right, take me back to Saturday night. LSU wins in dramatic fashion, 37-34. They get a 57-yard field goal, which is the longest in program history to win the game on Saturday night. They do it with a bunch of key players out, including their top corner, Derek Stingley Jr. When did you learn that he wasn't going to play, and what's his status moving forward?
Well, I really didn't know. I knew he didn't practice all week. He tried to go all week. He went a few periods, but he never really finished practice. So it was kind of up in the air, and they kind of want to wait up until the start of warm-ups to see if he can go. And I was watching him doing warm-ups. He just didn't look right. I mean, he was, trying to, push off that leg, trying to fire it up, but it just wasn't working for him. And then I didn't know until the game started and the first defense went out there.
Really?
But I knew that there was a chance he wasn't going to play. I knew that much just because of how the week went. So now he's still battling through it. I know yesterday he didn't finish practice as well, but, he's going to try to do his best to get out there, understanding that this is, the last game of the year. And, he really wanted to be a part of what took place over there in Gainesville. But, he did the right thing and the smart thing, in my opinion.
He's routinely, I mean, he is known as a quiet kid and as a quiet leader. Did you hear the report on television that they had something going on the bench and he was kind of motivating and got into a player's face? Nobody has video of it. Nobody has seen it. And when the report started to surface, if you got on Twitter, I mean, it was wildfire. I was getting text messages. What's going on with Stingley on the side? I said, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I still don't know what anybody's talking about. Do you know what people are talking about?
Let's just say, he stepped outside of himself for a minute to motivate some of his teammates.
I love that.
Just to be, that guy because, I told him if he wasn't going to play, I said, hey, if you're not in the game this week, you have to be there for your teammates. You have to be there, especially for your group of guys.
Yeah.
You have to be dialed in. Don't sit on the bench and look disinterested. No, you stand up when defense is out there. You see what's going on, so when they come back, you can help them as well. So it was a little bit of that, and I think that he got a little bit outside of himself, and but he brought it back down, and it was nothing.
Have you seen him do that before?
No,
yeah.
no.
I mean,
well, the Missouri game, I saw something similar to that, and with him and another player. Because they just had to get on the same page, and he just was not liking what was going on, and he felt like it was his time to say something. So he's coming out of his shell, which is good because he's getting older. He's naturally the leader in the corners room. So you need that because you got to show some example for the younger guys that's coming in, so that the next guy up can be that guy when leadership is needed within that room.
I know he is who he is. You were a coach. If I'm not mistaken, I believe your dad had the reputation for being a really good teammate in the sense of a leader in the locker room by both his action and his voice. If what I read is correct, is it different in the sense of him being as quiet as he is?
Yeah, I thought that he would have more of a personality like me, where I'm okay with speaking and expressing myself, and I don't care what people think, say, or do. But Derek is a little reserved. He's stoic. He's very quiet. But his mom is like that as well, so he
Hmm.
basically got that from her. But to see him be in that way with the team, naturally he cares, and in my opinion, it's time for him to be that way. So I'm okay with it. I just told him, just don't make things personal. Keep it on the field, and that's where it stays. Once the game is over, you guys are teammates, and keep it that way.
Talking to Coach Derek Stingley, senior defensive back coach, Dunham School. Coach, speaking of DBs, no Derek Stingley meant that some guys, well, and then after Cardell Flock gets ejected for targeting, I mean, you're getting all the way to the youngest and freshest of faces. What was your kind of coaching breakdown of Dwight McLaughlin's play?
I thought for Dwight to be thrown in there and to play, and not to give up. I think he gave up a explosive play, but not to give up that many,
Yeah.
and to be where he needed to be. That was huge for him because he did a lot of watching this year. And we didn't have those tune-up and warm-up games. This is Florida, the number fifth ranked team or sixth ranked team, whatever they were in the country, to the point where we need you to step up and play like a veteran. And he made a head see play where the ball bounced off his head. Where Jay caught the ball. But at the same time, the lights wasn't too big for him. And that's Dwight. You have to know Dwight, the way he is. He's a good guy that's always kind of in a great mood. Like he's never like worried about much, or he's just always laughing and goofy, and just being a good guy. And someone, I remember when the guys were coming out of the locker room, they was like, that is the most Dwight thing ever, when the ball hit his head like that. I was talking with Derek and Elias at that time. I think it was Derek that said it, but just to know, for him to be out there and not have the deer in the headlight effect, and to play well and to help the team win, that's huge for him. And I told him after the game, I was like, that's where you step up and make plays.
Coach, he's got an interesting body for that corner position. I mean, he's tall. He looks
Yeah,
gigantic out there. What's the differences in coaching a tall corner, and like what's the challenges for someone like Dwight being that tall out there on the edge?
Sometimes you worry about that because you worry about the quickness or the hips, and if they can cover a shifty guy. But he knows how to stay on top of guys. He has those long arms, and he has good long range speed. He's explosive, meaning he can jump out of the building. He still needs some things he needs to work on technique wise, but that's to be expected because he's a young guy. But the good thing about Dwight is he's coachable. He's one of those kids that just sit back and soaks it all in, and he's done a good job of it. And I think that once he understands how to cover different body types, I think he'll be another good player for the LSU Tigers. For sure.
So you mentioned Elias Ricks. Let's talk about Eli Ricks. Another pick six for Ricks. I want you to give me. So I don't know coverage responsibility. It's probably my weakest part of like analyzing football. What was the coverage there? And is that Eli Ricks just kind of instinctually making a play? Did the scheme kind of bring him there? Like, how does that play come about?
Yeah, that's a scheme that they do in a bunch set. It's called box, where basically is four defenders against their three, and Elias has basically first crosser.
Okay.
When the inside guy, where Elias was, he has first crosser, but sometimes that may come to a double team because I think Jay Ward was covering that guy as well. So Jay was behind the play, so Trask thought that that was an easy ball, but that's something that they practice a lot. With the two safeties over the top, and then you have the nickel corner in coverage. But Elias, he's kind of waiting for a crosser, or he's sitting in that hole. So it's almost like he's robbing, and they work to perfection. I mean, he snatched the ball out of the guy's hand and took off. I was sitting right behind his parents, and oh my God, it was like it was the best feeling ever. I understand where they were going with the being so excited and things like that, because there was a chance he wasn't going to play and start that game, and they were a little surprised that he was even out there because of the injury that he was dealing with, and then for him to make that play, it was like the whole section was going crazy. I was like, this kid here is just another freshman making plays for LSU. How many years that's been said?
That's awesome.
That's a good thing. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him as well.
Yeah, the freshmen were all over the field, and look, whether Derek plays or not, somebody, either Stingley or Ricks, is going to have to deal with Elijah Moore this weekend. And when you look at Elijah Moore numbers, they're pretty stupid. 150 yards a game. He's got 86 catches in 8 games, 8 touchdowns. What have you seen out of Moore this season, and just how hard he is to cover as a DB?
Well, he's electric because he's everywhere. They line him up everywhere, and he's a good athlete. He runs real good routes. His hands are great, and then after the catch, he can break some tackles. So this kid's going to be a tough cover. He's going to be a guy that that naturally they're going to focus on, and who's ever on him, they're going to have an opportunity to make some plays because the ball's going to come his way. I just think that you just have to play technique and play sound defense on them. I think if everybody works together, meaning the corners and the safeties, if they work together, they can neutralize this kid. But if someone gets a little selfish and do what they want to do and then not work within the defense, it may be a long day for us, because they will focus on him, and he will be the focus point for Ole Miss. But hopefully we kind of do our jobs and we can pull out another victory and finish strong with this year.
Yeah.
Have a good week, Coach. We'll talk to you next Tuesday. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Sir.
Stop in and check out City Cafe. They're on O'Neill and George O'Neill. They've been in business for over 100 years, and if you want them to take care of your holiday menu, get your entire family set up with the turkey, the sides, the dressings, they can take care of that. Online, citycafebr.net. Your mailbag questions next.